Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday edition of Talking Horses, the final February edition of the program. No, I did not eat Andy Serling. I'm the big A Anthony Stabile. Andy's off. Sarah El Badwi filling in. Sarah Beal, according to my friend Stefan Tafano from MarketWise Picks. We'll give that a run today. Our buddy James Politano going to see if he can come up with something a little bit better while he's down in Philly. Sarah, how are you? Still counting your money from confidence game yesterday in the Rebel?
You know, I wasn't going to bring it up right away, but you did for me, so I appreciate that.
Hype and opinion, my dear. Hype and opinion. Somebody's got to pump you up.
Yeah, that was a good opinion. So if today's aren't quite as good, that's okay. I have a little bit of a resting place for myself. What do you pay? $39?
Yeah, so you're covered for the weekend.
Yeah, I'm okay for
you're covered for the
rest
weekend.
of today. So.
Good job. We had a lot of good racing yesterday. Some fun results. We know the chorus already, but the Repo Rocks did get the job done yesterday in the stymie, however you feel about the result. He got the job done off a little bit of a tough trip. We'll see if he comes back for the Carter controversial decision in the Gander Neural Network. It's put up over Maker's Candy. A lot went on yesterday. We had that result in the Rebel. Honeybee Points went to Wet Paint, who got it done yet again on a wet track. We'll see what she can do on a dry track, hopefully at some point on the way to the Kentucky Oaks. Hopefully you played all of the action over at Naira Bets, because we got you covered any track, any place, any time. $200 deposit match sign-up bonus. The promo code is MATCH200. American Revolution, even though he's retired, he wants you. I like this promotion, Sarah. I know you do too. You're a Pick 5 gal.
Oh, this is great.
Pick 5, hit and split, $2,500 in each pool. Our late Pick 5, Oaklawn's late Pick 5. You can catch all the action on America's Day at Races. We'll tell you about that in a minute. Opt in over at Naira Bets next Saturday. The Gotham Challenge, our first handicapping challenge of the year. $300 buy-in, BCBC seat, and cash prizes. You have until 5 o'clock Friday. Register at naira.com/contests. Speaking of test, the test of the champion, the Belmont Stakes. Tickets on sale now. Head to belmontstakes.com. One of the most iconic photos in the history of not just horse racing, but all of sports. Ronnie Turcotte taking a peek back. And there it is, America's Day at the Races. Those Pick 5s, we got you covered. 2:30 to 6, it'll be Greg Wolf and myself on the desk. The big Richard Migliore down in the paddock. Maggie Wolfendale and Paul LaDuca down in Hot Springs at Oaklawn. We'll talk about all the stakes action from yesterday and cover all the live action today. All right, let's get into it. Early Pick 5 starts in race number 1. I just copied Sarah's picks in the first. I'm going to ride the wave here.
I was going to say, just go on the website and just be like, oh, well, you know, she had a good day yesterday, so let's just put those in.
Exactly. That's exactly what actually here, I did not know what to do. I took mentally as a nod to my gal, Katie Davis. She gave my girl, I'm Buzzy, sensational ride.
Great ride.
In the opener yesterday. If you have not watched Katie this winter, Katie with finally getting on some live horses. Her agent, Joe Migliore, doing a sensational job getting on some live mounts. Funny how, obviously, a stakes winner now. She gave my girl a fantastic ride yesterday. Katie getting the job done. She's the biggest price of the horses I thought could win the race. Sarah, I don't know if you have any more insight. I just picked mentally because, like I said, I thought she had, I thought these 4 horses had the equal chances. She's going to be the biggest price. I put her on top.
Yeah, that's certainly what appealed to me too. And she's one that, I mean, she's just had a lot of trouble getting out of the gate in some of her starts. And while I don't necessarily think that she's going to put that all together today and suddenly run a race that we've never seen before from her with a horse that has a propensity for these gate issues, I thought that maybe if she could just break a little bit better, show some of the early speed that she did in her debut, and get that position from the outside going forwards, that maybe she's one that I wanted who had just less chances so far to disappoint than those 2 inside runners who are the shorter prices. And we do have a race of theirs to show from February 2nd, where Tonight We Love and Frosty Invasion ran. I mean, these 2 were coming from the back of the pack, but they've been big prices in many of their starts recently, especially Tonight We Love. And I don't want a horse that has been above 10-1 in several starts at 7-5 now. I just don't.
She has run 14 times, 12 races on her card out of my DRF PPs that I printed. She has been the favorite exactly 1 time. She's been under 10-1 just 3 times on the card. So yeah, I could not agree with you more. Frosty Invasion, who's going to vie for favoritism, has never been the favorite. It's hard for me to take horses that have these double-digit starts at these short prices. And even Treat Street, who we both have fourth, she's never hit the board. She's run twice at this level. She's never hit a fast track, and maybe that'll help her cause. She's never been the mile on the dirt. Maybe that'll help her cause. But, God, she's just been so blah in her races. She's losing ground at the end of both races, going 6 furlongs on the dirt. What makes me think more ground is going to help her?
Right, and especially if somebody else is up there early with her. I mean, it concerns me that she's stretching out when she has been this kind of speed and fade type 2 times dirt sprinting, and maybe suddenly there's this big improvement finally getting to a dry track, but I just didn't really see it, and I didn't want her either. So to the outside we both go, and the other 2 that haven't had as many starts, I just couldn't really make a big case for them.
Very hard to make cases for the 2 outliers in here, Virtual Beauty and Hail Britannia. Mentally for both Sarah and I, Sarah Beal on the same 9-2 shot on the morning line in the opener, race number 1. Race number 2, $32,000 claimer is going to go 6.5 furlongs. We'll take a look at 3 of them going back to New Year's Day. It's Lafitte's Fleet, Gemography, and Prisoner. So half the field exiting this race on New Year's Day. Lafitte's Fleet gets the best of his other 2 rivals in here.
Yeah, and this was one where I thought that Prisoner really was dueling early with Reed Can, and they did continue fighting through the lane pretty well, but ultimately other horses just came and scooped them all up with that 4 all the way on the outside, closing the best of everybody, and Prisoner did come back to set a very easy lead in a 3-horse field next time out, didn't have to deal with other speed like he did in there, and was able to turn the tables on Lafitte's Fleet. I just thought that maybe from the inside that he would be able to get a better pace set up in here where he doesn't have that constant pressure from another horse who did ultimately finish last in that last race.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a 3-horse field, and Lafitte's Fleet probably took the worst of it last time as the favorite. I was actually surprised with all the scratches last time that Prisoner wasn't the favorite just because he figured to control from the start. He did, and he got the job done. I guess his biggest issue, for the lack of a better term today, would be just how much pressure Nuclear Option puts on him early, because no one else in here can come close to this horse early. I know there was a time and place where Gemography showed some speed, but he's just not as fast as Prisoner. And I would imagine Nuclear Option shipping up shipping down from Charlestown, Desta Haddock going to climb aboard, if he's the one to put a little pressure on. But if he doesn't, and Jamie Torres just puts Prisoner on the front end again today, maybe he can bottom this field out. I went with the drop down. I thought, thinking about it, just has been facing much better. Candyman Rocket won the stakes race down at Gulfstream yesterday. You can say cutting this horse in half is maybe a little bit of a red flag. I just think he's being dropped to win by Ray Handel. And I do believe Nuclear Option has no choice but to put a little bit of pressure on Prisoner if he can. So I just thought the best hop was a drop in this case, and I thought thinking about it and Lafitte's Fleet both made a little bit more sense than Prisoner. But you're going to get the best of it in price, and you're probably going to get the best of it in the early running. And Prisoner is going to be in front of these 2 horses, and if Nuclear Option doesn't press, maybe he just keeps on going.
That's the case that I'm hoping for. You know, Nuclear Option does have a lot of Parks efforts that do compete, but those are always kind of question marks about whether they'll transfer over. But you can definitely say in his start here this year, he was totally overmatched. I mean, that was Dr. Ardito, that was Nabokov. I mean, this horse has run 57 times, and this is just a realistic level for this one if he can bring some of that Parks form over here. Think about it, I mean, this one has faced some salty types at Gulfstream Park, and I don't love the drop, but this is also a realistic level for this horse. I mean, Lightning Larry is one that he faced, Dean Delivers. I mean, these are horses that have run well in subsequent starts than when he faced them, and he was around where they were, even though he wasn't necessarily competitive with types like that. So definitely getting some class relief in here, and I understand where you're coming from.
See if Prisoner can shake loose in race number 2. Race number 3, and we forgot to tell you that there is a middle pick 4 today. It starts here in race number 3, so pick 4s in races 2, 3, and 6 on the 9-race Sunday card. Again, bonus middle pick 4 here in race number 3. Maiden quarter state breds. Got a first-time starter in here, Iron Horizon, for Jimmy Ferraro and the McMahons. And
You
again,
copied me again.
No, you copied me in this race, I think.
No, I wouldn't do that
I
to
think
you.
so. Well,
My
your
picks
pick-
were up
Your picks were up
first.
on Tuesday, so. Trevor Bardet, we're going to go back and take a look at him from February 12. He finishes a long way back of Ziber on this day, but he is pressing the pace here on the outside under Jose Gomez back when he was an apprentice. No, he had lost the apprenticeship this day, I believe. This was finishing a well-beaten third.
Yeah, I mean, I picked him this day, and he ran into this firster that was very sharp from the start and was able to wire this field in a field that was kind of looking for a new face to show something. And I think that maybe in here he could possibly be this lone speed type. I don't love 7 to 5, but again, compared to the two outside horses, it's kind of like that case that we have in the first race where you have horses that have just proven to you over and over and over again that they're not getting the job done, whereas he doesn't have that many opportunities to disappoint. And I'm just never going to take a horse like the Great Gazoo or Reunion Tour at short prices on top. That's just not what I'm going to do.
Did you show this video to commemorate our first show together?
Well, I showed this video because I picked the horse, but yes, we can say it was because
You
of
should have
that.
sucked up and just said yes.
Next time.
I'm like you. I'm not. This sounds a lot more mean than it is, but he's just the lesser of two evils at this point. Because these pop and stops are starting to pile up for him as well. It's just he has 4 and the Great Gazoo has 16. It's math. He has less than the Great Gazoo. It's and certainly the two of those don't add up to the 24 of Reunion Tour. So it's starting to these horses are starting to pile up these defeats, and you would just imagine that Trevor Bardet has kind of found the right bunch, and the fact that the other two horses that make sense in here, the Great Gazoo and Reunion Tour, just don't have anywhere near as much speed. And to say that he has speed is being kind, but he's just positionally, he's just supposed to be in front of these two horses. And at some point, that's going to be enough to get out of the maiden ranks. Maybe it's today, unless Iron Horizon can run. I don't know if Iron Horizon can run. Jimmy Ferraro puts this one in. He has Reunion Tour as well. I don't know if this horse can run. Ramiro Mirage is going to climb aboard. Kind of like in the first race, it's very hard for me to make a case for Tyrannosaurus Rex to 1, Mr. Buster to 3, Noah's Destiny to 5. Does Iron Horizon have to be a gorilla to break his maiden against these horses? Absolutely not. But, the work tab does not scream he's going to be much to deal with first time out. He's a 4-year-old first time starter. We'll see how he does in his debut.
I do have one fun fact to mention about him. Even though James Ferraro is 1 for 41 first-time starters past 5 years, that one paid $126
So he has a positive
to win
ROI.
for the same ownership group, and that horse was Prospect Mountain, who did end up finishing second to Bourbonic in an allowance race
Yes.
in January of 2021.
Yeah.
So
He blew me up in the
Some
last
things to
race
like.
here of a pick 5.
you'll never forget.
I will not forget it. Yep. I think he beat Tommy Albatrani, if I'm not mistaken. Thanks, Sarah. Again, that starts the middle pick 3, middle pick 4 on today's 9-race card. Pick 6 kicks off in race number 4. $10,000 claimers. You can scratch them. The only scratch on the card, the number 6, wait a minute in this race. Got a few rider changes on the card. One of them's in here. Number 7 gets Manny Franco. I don't think Frankie Pennington made the ride up from Philly today, so Manny Franco on the 7. Prairie Fire. Speaking of Prairie Fire, here is she and Viridia back on January 5. They are finishing a long way behind Melting Snow.
Yeah,
Melting Snow gobbling up the slop this day.
Totally overmatched by her, but this was a race where Viridia did come back to win, but I just don't love that race that she came out of. And even though these two were not at all competitive in this short field with Melting Snow, I thought that maybe Viridia doesn't show that she likes this 7 furlong distance that they're going to be running today. She's 0 for 10 with 44 career starts in total. And I just don't think a ton of the race she exits. She's also got to turn the tables on Prairie Fire, which is why I ended up putting Prairie Fire on top, who has run some okay races lately, even though she did kind of tail off previously, and she's at least able to handle this distance. So that was my only reason for kind of switching things up with these two. I had picked the 6 on top, but of course the only scratch today, that one's out.
Okay, so you could, so guys, make Sarah's pick 7-5-1.
2.
7-5-1-2. So we could change Sarah's picks to 7-5-1-2 if we can, please. So this is going to sound as stupid as it possibly can, but I am used to sounding
But tell me
stupid.
anyway.
I think Viridia is an absolute cinch today.
Really?
Yeah. And
Are we going to start our own types of bets?
we absolutely can if you want here. So
We should.
I just, when these fillies, especially the fillies and mares, I'm not trying to be misogynistic about
No,
this.
just tell me the argument.
When
I'm here.
horses get older, especially fillies and mares, things they liked in the past, and in her instance, it's the wet track. I just don't think now, at an advanced age, she just doesn't like these wet tracks anymore. She won on a good track last winter,
Okay.
but when they're super slopped out, she just, you can tell in her action, she just does not want to be out there anymore. Because her 2 fast track races lately, she looks like she still wants to do it. When she's out there on the sloppy tracks, she wants no part of it. And there's no moisture in this track today. And she's facing fillies. I mean, Greatest Love is dropping in half off the claim. Tilsa's shipping up for Scott Lake. Exfiltration, Prairie Fire. The filly you had originally picked is gone. Icy Reply is, she's not much. Filly coming in from Laurel off the condition claim in races. Listen, Viridia's going to be even money. I'm giving you ice and no winter here. But in a race where it looks like there's not much form to go off of, I think in a race where she does not look reliable, I think she's probably the most reliable horse on the card today because
Really?
that track is fast.
The whole card?
Yeah.
Because the track is fast?
Yep.
All right. What do you want to bet for it?
You tell me.
Well,
we shared a cigar Friday night, folks. By the way, my first co-host in the history of Talking Horses to share a cigar with me. So maybe we should bet a cigar.
Let's do it.
All
Okay,
right.
that's fair enough.
Next cigar is on the. So are we doing just?
So
you know what?
7 over the 5?
However you want to do it.
All right, let's do it.
Okay,
Sounds
7 over
good.
5.
A cigar bet.
There it is.
I
My
like
first cigar bet. This is
Original.
fantastic.
I love it.
I'd have lost a lot of money that there would be a cigar bet on Talking Horses, but
Now you're
there
telling
it
everybody
is.
that I'm at the cigar bar. Jeez.
I didn't tell them which one.
Fair enough.
That kicks off the pick 6, race number 4. Race 5, the Crossroads race, wraps up the early pick 4, the early pick 5, starts the late pick 5. It's part of the pick 6. It's part of the middle pick 4. Maidens, $40,000 state bred fillies going 7/8. Let's take a look at Ukrainian Princess back on January 27th. My apologies. Here she is finishing second, just getting beat 3 parts of a length to Joey the Fish. Now she was claimed, but it was voided out of this race. Her second start with the 7-pound apprentice Jason Wayas.
Yeah, normally that's kind of a red flag, but it does say on the Daily Racing Form past performances that was because of administrative reasons.
Okay.
So that doesn't concern me as much as if it were for reasons unknown or perhaps something more concerning her physicality or with passing the vet. But she, even though she was post 2, she was pretty well off the rail for most of this race and kind of had to stalk that leading group and range around the outside and go ahead of them. And this was a horse that on debut didn't get out of the gate that well, didn't really show that much speed, made up just a little bit of ground late. Now she's in for the 40 versus the 25, so it's a little bit of a step up in price tag. I think that maybe if she just shows some of that speed that she was able to show last time to stay in contact with the field instead of being too far out of it. I mean, she just got nabbed last time.
Yeah,
So.
she just got run down. One of the things, this is going to taste like vinegar coming out of my mouth, that Andy has pointed out to me since I've been doing this program with him for the last 6 or 7 years, that has proven to be probably one of the truest things. These maidens, especially the cheaper maidens that get run down, it takes them a long time to graduate.
Yeah.
An awful long time. And I've taken note of that, and that's one of the things that has really, really stuck in my head. Not saying she can't win, and it's probably a good sign knowing now that it was administrative. It's a good sign that they moved her from the quarter to the 40 because they want to protect her a little bit.
Yes.
And she can obviously win this race. I mean, this is not the toughest bunch of maiden 40 she's ever going to find. But with that said, I did go looking elsewhere. Aberol Spritz, I went to the outside. I didn't feel like this filly was ever comfortable down along the inside first time out. Kendra Carmouche, who's supposed to be back this weekend, along with Trevor McCarthy. Looking forward to them returning to an already talented riding colony. She took some money. She was 2-1. She was second choice. I feel like she was never comfortable down inside. She was going 6.5, and then by the time the real running began, she had every right to be spent, and she was. She kind of was. There's more turf pedigree here anyway, so I don't know if but Union Jackson kind of didn't make any sense to me on top. I don't know. Maybe they're just getting ready for turf season, but I wanted to give her one more chance and maybe a little bit of a slightly better price. The one we're both quote unquote against is Lady Banker. You have her fourth. I put her second. She showed speed first time out. Didn't have the best of beginnings. Now she gets a rider change to Dylan Davis. She has the experience under her belt. Danny's numbers are okay second time. Gargan, that is. I don't know. I thought there was some room for improvement with her. You like her less than I do.
Yeah, I mean, I think she makes sense. I won't be shocked. She's likely to go from the rail now, showing that speed that she did last time. I have no serious knocks against her, but I was just looking for somebody else that maybe if there's another horse that presses her early that she isn't able to sustain that speed going a little bit further. But, I mean, I have no big opinions in this race. It's kind of just find somebody that's a little bit of a better price that I can make a reasonable case for, and that's what I kind of tried to do, even though 3-1 is not the longest shot in the world.
That's the first five. We come back with the late pick 4 after some words from Saratoga Water.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back. Thanks for counting me in, guys. Sarah Beal, Big A, Sarah Al-Badwi. Almost lost my microphone. Used to having my mic on the other side.
Yeah.
So when the left leg pulls down the microphone, it's not good. But, you know.
We only have a couple horses going on, too.
I'm sorry?
We only have a couple horses going on, too.
Yeah, what's going on here, guys? What's the dealio?
You get 3, I get 2.
There's no scratches here.
No.
My pick should read 5376.
And I'm 7632. And you did not copy me for this race. You went to something I couldn't really totally make. So I'm curious to hear your argument.
We're having some technical problems. Please stand by. Anyway, late pick 4 times, so we can start talking about this race. In fact,
yeah. Forever Wicked.
Yeah, you know, I did not like this race. I'm kind of upset this kicks off the late pick 4 because I don't have a lot of confidence in the start of the late pick 5.
Yeah. So this isn't going to be the leg that you can really sink your teeth into.
Correct.
As far as.
And if we go dead in the pick 5, I don't want to really start the pick 4
yeah.
here.
You don't want to run back without a confident opinion.
I don't want to run it back, yo. But I'm going to have to because this is what we do.
Yeah,
this is the life we've chosen.
Yes.
This horse is coming off 2 not very good efforts. You could excuse the last one, I think, because of the wet track. And the race 2 back, he just ran against better horses. Now you can say Winterpool was in there last time, and I'm hoping the same thing. You're betting a little bit of the trainer change, although there's a randomness to the Jacobson horses. There they are. And he's going to be a big price in a race where, now this is a race where I do not, as much as I trust Viridia, I don't trust any of these horses. So I'll take a little bit of a, back in the Jacobson barn. The horse is the second longest shot on the board. I don't know how this horse is going to be the second longest price in here. I think that's ridiculous. But if he is, I'll bet a few dollars to win on him, and I'll spread in the pick 5 and pick 4. But yeah, I mean, Charlie 5-0 makes sense too, even though he hasn't been seen for 14 months.
Forever.
Talk
I
about
mean,
him. Yeah.
the race that I wanted to show from him is actually two back for him, even though we have to go all the way back to November of 2021.
Veterans Day.
And who finishes first here? None other than Repo Rocks, even though he was in a different barn at that time. Now, it's concerning that he hasn't been seen in quite some time. Now he's a first-time gelding. He's in for the 10. I mean, there's a lot of things going on that tell you that they kind of don't really have a lot of confidence in this horse's form as of what he's coming back into. But I mean, Atras is fine, off 180 plus a day layoffs, 24%. He's ready to get them going when he brings them back to the races. And I think that if this horse can do any sort of running that he had shown previously, he's a contender, even though that is a big question mark.
He must have been entered because the gelding he's listed as a gelding on November 12th of this year. And more often than not,
Okay.
they have to be declared geldings when they are entered.
Mm-hmm.
So I would imagine he was entered and scratched, or Rob was just very diligent with announcing when he was gelded, which could very well be the case. But I'm assuming he was entered and scratched. Now you see him in for the 10. Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of things, but look, he certainly found the right bunch to return against. Again, to me, it's a spread race. We both have Casalsa in there somewhere. We both have Winning Drive in there. These are just horses, especially Winning Drive. He has not lived up to his name lately. He hasn't won in, it's 2 weeks shy of a year. He just doesn't win anymore.
This is a tough group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any super strong opinions in here. I'm kind of just tired of seeing the same faces over and over again, and kind of just wanted to go with the one that at least we haven't seen in quite some time.
My buddy Steve Grabowski would say, I just want to move the chains in here. Pick 4s and pick 5s, I just want to move the chains. A wide open race. Number 6, I'll take Forever Wicked. Sarah will try Charlie 5-0. Race number 7, more claimers, 16,000 going the flat mile out of the chute. Couple of replays to take a look at. We're going to take a look at most of them in here. Let's go back to January 21st, Crypto Cash, Cool Quartet, and My Friends Beer. They're all going to get run down by Grumps Lil Tots. Grumps Lil Tots went into the Wayback Machine to get the job done in here. He flew past the entire field. Cool Quartet's going to run a pretty good race in the air. Crypto Cash as well.
Yeah, this was a day on the 21st of January where there was some weather the day before, so we were seeing horses to the inside have a little bit more success than those that were more towards the outside. So that's kind of why I wanted to show these two races, because you get pretty much everybody that's all been facing each other. Everyone's very familiar with each other for the most part in this field. And I just thought that maybe some of these horses were a little bit more enhanced coming off of races where the rail may have been an advantage for them. The same kind of idea on the 22nd, where we have a race where Vintage Hollywood and Truculent come out of. A little bit less pronounced, I would say, than the day before, because there had been that weather on the 20th. But I mean, Truculent, now he's going to a new barn. First off the claim, Charlie Baker is 29% out of a sample size of 21 with a $3.22 ROI. It concerns me that he was towards the inside, able to save ground and set the pace, but I just don't see a ton of other early speed in here unless they really gun it with Vintage Hollywood again. And Truculent's drawn more inside of him. Now he's getting the weight break with the Apprentice. I just thought that maybe he would be able to clear off a little bit more so than he had in this start, even though he wasn't able to hold on this day, perhaps with the new barn, getting a little bit of more of a secured lead for himself. He's able to turn the tables.
Popular type at the claim box, Truculent.
Sure.
Linda Rice, Gustavo Rodriguez, Linda, Mike Maker, John Cox down in Kentucky, where the claiming all began back in June of last year, I should say. This horse was favored into Dust Devil last time, Truculent was. Yeah, he made a lot of sense there. You and I just flip-flop the topics. Cool Quartet gets a significant rider change back to Manny Franco, who was aboard for his last blowout score, to a field that was more to this type than it was. I mean, he was just in with comparatively with gorillas last time compared to what he's facing today. And he should get a nice trip in here. He has Truculent to go to the lead. I would imagine he's just sitting second to him or third. Daddy Knows is the wild card. Daddy Knows, the half to the venerable Mr. Buff. He's a little bit of a handful to ride. Ray Handel, who's had him in the past, I believe, takes him back now, puts a pair of blinkers back on him. This horse has a bad habit of getting out in his races. He can be very, very difficult to ride. He's drawn the outside post. I don't know if that's going to hurt or help him because he has that daylight to his outside already from the outside draw. But I would imagine with the blinkers and the outside draw, he's going to be keen today. That could hurt Truculent's chances a little bit if the plan is to be aggressive with Truculent, which I would have to imagine after his last race, that is going to be the plan. So, again, I think that could play into Cool Quartet's hand. I put him on top of Truculent. Really, to me, it was 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. I don't want to leave out my friend's beer. You have the horse third. I do as well. Again, comes out of that same race as last time. He gets an equipment change to a pair of blinkers. He gets the apprentice rider to stick. He ran sneaky well 2 starts back, I thought, in the Grumps Little Tots race. And I want to give him one more chance. Dom Scatino got off the duck yesterday, got the job done with Last Chance of Glory. Mm-hmm. He might be lost in the shuffle on a tote board too, and he might be 6-7-1. So he's the kind of horse where if you're playing pick 4s and pick 5s like I do, we do, he's the kind of horse you want to get in there. So I'll use 1, 3s, and 5s and try to get alive and see if we get the biggest price home. I picked Cool Quartet, but I'll be trying to get my friend's beer home in race number 7. Race 8. Allowance contest at 1.25 miles. I love these, and maybe I misspoke earlier when I said Veradia was the, although Sarah does not agree. Let's go back and take a look at Curbstone, who Lord Morley, fellow Lord Tom Morley, Curbstone has been sensational in his last 2. Matty Oliver and Curbstone have made a very nice team since switching back to the dirt here at the Big A.
They have, and great to see her retain the mount on this horse and continue having success with him. And the thing about him, too, is that he has won at this 1.25 mile distance, actually. He did break his maiden forever ago going that distance, so you know that he's at least capable of handling it. I just thought that Good Skate from the outside has run some decent races lately, hitting the board and winning a couple. He did step up significantly last time out and ran second since joining the Maker Barn. And I don't think that Manny Franco is going to let Curbstone get too far ahead of him early. I think that Good Skate is at least going to keep him in his sights and want to stick a little bit closer to him than being totally outrun in the early stages. So a small shot against, but I think Curbstone obviously makes a ton of sense in here and should handle the distance, should handle this field, and it's great to see Matty Oliver continue to get these opportunities.
And here's Good Skate finishing second to Tonal Impact in his most recent start back on January 29th. This is just 17 days after winning a 3 life claimer and getting claimed by Mike Maker, who's just winning races in bunches across the country as we speak. This is the day where Tonal Impact did not have the cleanest of trips. Once he got outside and got rolling, it was all over. Yeah, you know, I'll say this. Curbstone, since being gelded off that July layoff to November, they ran him once on the turf. He's just not a turf horse. Boy, his 2 dirt races have been sensational. Good Skate, though. This was a good effort. He was overmatched by Tonal Impact. I'll say, I don't know how far Good Skate wants to go. It looks like Curbstone, they don't write the races long enough for him. And if he keeps on this trajectory, these marathon races, you know, Tom upset the race that Andy got eliminated, the Grand Prix Jockey Club, American Jockey Club. We make fun of it. I think we counted one day. There's only 6 letters in the alphabet that wasn't in the name of the race. They weren't in the name of the race. I mean, I would imagine he's on, you know, he's flat out and Brooklyn bound if he continues on this trajectory. An 82 and a 96 buyer. I just thought Curbstone was going to be too tough today. In fact, I was going to try and split them. I thought Bold Victory, I like the ride to switch back to Dylan Davis for Bold Victory. I didn't love the ride he got last time by the Bug Boy, and I think Dylan will give him a little bit more of an aggressive ride. Maybe get him involved a little earlier. I hope to be laying third behind the 2 favorites in here, and maybe he can split the 2 chalks in the exacta. That'll go as race number 8. Curbstone versus Good Skate should be a fun feature on the Sunday card. A huge field, 13
I had to break out a pen that I almost never use to color my notes for this race.
A 13-horse field in the finale. State-bred Maiden's going to go a flat mile out of the chute.
This is a good race.
This is a fun race.
This is maybe the second best, arguably to some, maybe the best race on this card today.
Okay.
This is a good race.
I don't know if I disagree with that.
There wasn't much competition, but this is a good race.
Yes, we have a couple of replays here. Let's start with the number 9, Victory Money, who figures to be your favorite. Returns from a layoff, a Hall of Famer Todd Pletcher. Dylan Davis going to climb aboard this Son of Constitution. Here he is finishing 5th at 3-1 behind Mariachi. General Banker would come back out of this, a second place finisher, to win the Stallion Series after this.
I mean, if you look up the definition of key race in the dictionary, you're just going to get a replay of this. That's all it's going to be, because this race has been so live going forwards, and Victory Money did have some trouble in there. I mean, he was behind horses. He had to go inside and make up some ground. He had to take some kickback. I think that was a very educational effort for him, and he just makes a lot of sense coming into this race today, because all of those, well, not all, but the majority of those horses in that race have really proven themselves going forwards. Others have come back to win. I mean, that has just been such a fruitful race to have run in going forwards, and I just couldn't ignore that with this one, even though we both did try to take a small shot against.
Yes, we both put this horse second. You went to the number 11, Dudley Dickerson. We have a replay for him. Maker's Candy finished first in yesterday's Gander, was controversially, in my opinion, wrongfully in my opinion, placed second in the Gander yesterday. And here he is finishing 3rd, a long way behind Maker's Candy and Bourbon Chase.
Yeah, I mean, this is another one just coming out of a race where other horses that had finished ahead of him went on to run well, and he's another one that was very far back early and made up some ground late. I thought that perhaps he could just be able to sit a little bit closer today, improve off of that effort, facing live horses that have proven themselves going forward. Regardless of what you think about yesterday's controversial decision, I do totally agree that it was controversial. Maker's Candy did come back and run well. So
yes,
you can't argue that he's been facing stiff competition, and I think that he's going to be a much better price than Victory Money. If I like those two with similar types of angles, I got to take the better price.
Guys, I wrote the wrong number down. My pick should be 49810. I have to change it on the website also. My pick should be 49810. I apologize. I have to change it on the site. Obviously, Dudley Dickerson can get a piece of this. I want to use like 6 horses in here. I want to use Dudley Dickerson for everything you said. I want to use some 12s. The horse that I made a mistake with, 10 Vocal Rules. He ran for 40,000 first time out. He went 6 furlongs first time out. I am not a big believer in this. This horse was rolling after the wire first time out.
Are you giving me a gallop out angle?
I mean, I made fun of myself for the gallop out angle. I think we were doing the Fox. This horse was flying at the end. I'm not letting this horse beat me at 25-1 today. And then the horses, the Christophe Clement bringing the Son of Empire Maker up from Payson. I know he's a New York bred, but he gets Manny Franco. I'm using him. Obviously, Victory Money. And then I thought Gem Mint T ran well first time out. This horse took money first time out, showed speed, stretches out now to a mile. They spent $130,000. And quite frankly, I know the 7 Amon showed speed first time out, as did the 2 More Than a Feeling. I'm hoping Katie can get this horse either on or close to the lead today. Maybe get this horse to relax a little bit off the speed, behind some of the speed. Has that race under his belt, I should say. I thought he made a lot of sense in here second time out. I know Ray's numbers aren't great second time out, Ray Handel, but I thought he made a lot of sense. And I thought he'd be a little bit of a price because there was enough going on with the Clement Firster, with the Todd horse returning. Dudley Dickerson, I think, will be shorter than he is on the morning line. So I thought he'd be a little bit of a better price than that 9-2. on the morning line. But it is a really fun race. Lots going on, lots to dissect. And like I said, I'd like to use a half a dozen of them. I hope I'm alive. I'll single curbstone and have 6 of them in the last. It kind of worked a little bit yesterday. I was able to find that pick 3. Buzzy got home, Repo Rocks, and then the Barker horse that I had a little sneaky opinion on was able to get home. So hopefully we can find something similar in the finale today. You can play it all over at Naira Bets. Head on over, Match 200's the promo code. Play any track, any place, at any time. American Revolution wants you, even though he's making babies at WinStar as we speak. Match 200's that promo code. Head over to NairaBets.com. What else we got? Late pick 5 hit and split, $2,500 each here at the Big A and at Oaklawn Park. You can watch all that action on America's Day at the Races. Just opt in. I already did that. I did it yesterday over at NairaBets.com. Gotham Stakes Challenge next Saturday as we got 50 points on the line for this year's Kentucky Derby. $300 buy-in, BCBC seed, as well as cash prizes. 5 o'clock Friday is when registration ends. Head over to naira.com/contests. Test of the Champion. Tickets on sale now for the Belmont Stakes. It's Saturday, June 10th. The Belmont Stakes Racing Festival kicks off Thursday, June 8th. Head over to BelmontStakes.com for more details and to buy tickets. And of course, America's Day at the Races. Greg Wolf, myself, Richard Migliore here at the Big A. Maggie Wolfendale, Paul LaDuca down at Oaklawn, 2:30 to 6 p.m. on Fox Sports 1 for 3.5 hours. Sarah, fantastic job as always.
Thank you.
Sarah Beal, I don't know.
Somebody's got to come up with something
Jim,
better.
get to work.
We're
Somebody
taking
get to work.
suggestions.
We're taking suggestions. Tweet us. Chris Griffin, maybe he has a suggestion. He's up next with today's Scratches and Changes. Best of luck on the 9-race card here at Aqueduct.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Aqueduct. 9 races on today's Sunday card. The track is fast. Here are today's Scratches and Changes. Race 1 started the early pick 5. The 5 is 1 pound over, +1 on the 5 in race 1. Race 2 started the early pick 4 is clear. No changes. Race 3, beginning of the middle pick 4, is clear. No changes. Race 4 is the start of the pick 6. Scratch the 6, wait a minute. Rider change on the 7, Manny Franco. Scratch the 6 in race 4. Race 5, start of the late pick 5. Jockey on the 6, make it Gary Richards. Race 6, start of the late pick 4 is clear. No changes. Race 7 is clear. No changes. Race 8, no changes. And in race 9, rider change on the 12. Make it Romero Mirage. Those are the scratches and changes at Aqueduct. Race 1 is coming up, 28 minutes. The track is fast, and the early pick 5, going 1 mile, is next. Good luck.
Who you betting on?
How
about an app created specifically for horse racing? Naira Bets. We specialize in thundering hooves, fist pumping, and boosting your bankroll with robust weekly promotions. And offer betting tips from actual horse racing experts. Bet all day and night, nationwide. Get the action and thrill of horse racing with Naira Bets.